and welcome to After Cafe, where the estate shape, thoughts find that, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of his advocacy where doers and thinkers connect, none other than Mr. Jack Ellis.
Hi, pleasure to be here.
Welcome, Mr. Jack on Abstract Essay. Can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
I'm Jack. I have a brother, Matthew, who I've started a company with. It is called Your Ideas Hub. Uh, but when I'm not, running a business, I am a college student for creative writing, and I, just try to, enjoy myself as much as I can. But
Yes.
uh, we're not here to talk about me, of course. We're here to talk about my business, Your Ideas Hub.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And today let's talk about the future of technology. Everyone talks about AI and quantum computing. What is the less hype but fundamentally transformative technology we believe will redefine our daily lives in the next decade?
Well, personally, for me, I would have to say AI. I know that's kind of a cliche answer, but the lengths we're able to go to in this day and age, just right now as we speak, with AI is truly magnificent. And it makes me feel like we are truly living in the future. The way we can create music, we can create photos, we can create so many different things, animations, um, solely through a computer is really impressive to me. And it makes me think that I live among a lot of great minds.
Yes, indeed. And we're seeing a splintering of the internet and tech standards between the US, China, and the EU. Is it the future of technology inevitably balkanized? And what are the consequences for innovation and global cooperation?
Um, that's a very good question. I think our consequences would be we make things more dangerous for ourselves when we rely on robots to do pretty much anything. Uh, Not in the sense that we would become helpless or inept, but in the sense that robots can become just as smart as humans. I mean, I have a friend in my personal life who made an AI that actually creates its own AIs. And so when we give computers enough knowledge, pretty much all the knowledge that we have, that can create sort of tension between, and the line between human and technology can blur probably more than it ever has.
Mr. Jack, the narrative is shifting from AI replacing humans to AI as a co pilot. What does a truly synergistic human AI partnership look like in a field like scientific research, creative arts, and leadership?
Um, well, that's a good question. That kind of leads me into the point of the website. What I think a healthy relationship between AI and humanity looks like is where AI is kind of a garnish, if you will, to our work. Where when we use AI, we use it for the purposes of doing things that we can't. And we have those abilities now, but when there are things we can do, whether it be building something, researching, or, it's always easy to just have an AI do everything for you. But what I think would be helpful is if we used AI solely as a sort of amplifier of our skills rather than our sole skill.
Amplifier indeed. I like the way you say it, Mr. Jack. Beyond breaking encryption, what is the first killer app or for quantum computing that will have intangible commercial impact? And this is timeline decades away or closer than we think.
All right. Full disclosure, I have done much more research on AI than I have quantum computing. But I know people who work with that sort of thing, so I'll use my very layman's perspective on it. But what I think it is that quantum computing will create a dangerous environment. Would quantum computing or computing also fall under like deep fakes, or is that more AI? Uh,
Mr. Okay, go ahead.
no, no, I'm sorry. I was just making sure you heard me.
Mr. Jack, with the advance in brain computer interfaces and biosensing, are we moving towards a future where technology is seamlessly integrated with our biology? What are the ethical lines we should not cross?
Well, when you get into ethics, that's a very hairy subject, at least in my opinion, because I personally believe that there are certain things that we consider universally ethical. Um, you know, not to murder people, for example. But the thing is, I see ethics for most things as up to the individual and what they think the line should cross. So if you're asking me for my personal uh, view of how the ethics of quantum computing could work with our own biology, I would say that we don't use AI that can, I guess, what would be the word? Like procreate, like create more of it and, you know, kind of become a snake that eats its own tail. Uh, and I think that basically we need to, once we as a society see that this technology is going towards a very dark place, we, the people, need to draw a line in the sand because, uh, we cannot, sadly, we cannot always trust our government to do the right thing. So I put my faith in people.
Technology is both a major consumer of energy and our greatest hope for climate solutions. Can innovations outpace the escalating environment costs of our digital infrastructure?
Well, that's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Um, I think eventually, if we make enough advancements in, uh, technology as far as helping the Earth, then eventually we'll create not enough or not only enough energy to power our energy suppliers, but also power any extraneous energy that we might need. So I personally think that the innovation will outpace the uh, consumption.
Mr. Jacks, in an era of a deepfake, synthetic media, and algorithmic bias, what new system or technologies will emerge to help us reestablish trust in what we see, hear, and read online?
I think if we can make an AI to uh, make someone look like someone else, like as in a deepfake, I think we should be able to make AIs that can recognize AIs, and maybe we're already doing that. I don't know, but my brother is saying we do have that. So, and honestly, I think that's a good thing because it takes away a lot of the danger of having things like deepfakes exist because we can tell that it's AI, and I think that that would be the best measure against those sort of things is a AI pattern recognizing AI. Or if I had a nickel for every time I've said AI.
Mr. Jack, rather than just job distraction, what is a new category of work profession that you foresee emerging in the next 20 years that doesn't exist today?
Hmm. New profession that doesn't exist today. Um, I don't know if this is already a profession. Excuse any ignorance on my part, but I think in grocery stores, instead of just having cashiers and you know employees, I think eventually it'll all be self checkout, and basically the people there will be there to maintain the machines um, and make sure they work properly. Because if you've ever used one, they're they don't work properly all the time. So I believe we'll still have people to stock shelves, clean stores, but as far as actually helping people check out their groceries, I think that's making a nosedive towards automation.
Rather than just job distraction, what do you think will AI will dominate the entire world?
When or
When that's fully accepted, even the government will do laws that governs AI, artificial intelligence.
well, that's a good question. I think we have a long way to go, but I also think that's going to be sooner than we all think or expect. So if I had to put a year on it, probably by 2060, we'll be fully dependent on AI. Not that I'm happy about that, but it is what it is.
As we become more aware of a data privacy, we will see a shift towards a model where individuals truly own and monetize their personal data. What would make this feasible, Mr. Jack?
Hmm. I think it's hard for me to it's hard for me to say that an individual who has a AI makes something for them is really deserving of monetization unless they're maintaining the AI and making sure it works properly. But if they're just typing into Chat GPT, make me this, and then they're making money off that, I think that's unethical. But that's just my opinion.
If a social media algorithms automated our attention and AI begins to automate our reasoning and creativity, what is left for human mind to uniquely do?
Well, I've always said since AI was a fairly new thing, which I know I was born after it was invented, of course, but uh, when it became sort of mainstream, that AI will never replace the human touch. Um, that's just something it cannot do. It's a square peg in a round hole. Um, because I think great art, great works of people require not only the human experience, but the human, this sort of flourish that man made works have. Because AI can be very good at making compelling stories, for example, but it is they lack the sort of human touch that a good story needs.
Mr. Jack, how will technologies like autonomous vehicles, drone delivery, and lot of force us to physically redesign our cities? Will city centers become more for people or less for machines?
That's very hard to say, um, because as soon as the automobile was invented, walking in the street became a crime, even though that wasn't the case beforehand. So uh, it is tricky to me whether I think cities will become more built for humans or less, uh, more built for the optimization of machines, whether that be self-driving cars, drone deliveries, maybe buildings will be less or shorter and less visible, so that drones can fly around easier and see each other. And so yeah, it's I think if I had to if I had to make a choice, city centers will actually become less adept to humans. It'll become more adept to machines.
As a biotech and AI converge to tackle aging, what are the societal implications of significantly extended human health spans? How would it affect our careers, relationships, and resource allocation?
Well, when you get into age defying technology, me as a person, I see that as playing God. Um, I see that as something that is not natural, not healthy. Um, and I think that any any effort to make I think people should age the way that they're meant to, and that any efforts to make that I have no problem with people wanting to look better, but I have a problem with people literally wanting to rewind or just straight up stop their lives in its tracks, because that's not good for anybody.
It's not good for everybody for sure. Mr. Jack, our current education system is built for industrial age. How much it's fundamentally transformed to prepare humans for a future of perpetual technological change and reskilling.
Yes, I believe our education system will fundamentally change in the wake of this new technology. I think that what will happen is schools will focus more on teaching kids about these technologies in order for them to get good jobs and make them become interested in them, because a lot of time nowadays kids aren't even learning cursive, which is of course something I never liked in elementary school, but uh it's some schools are seeing it as obsolete. And I think that once every living person, because we know what happened with iPhones and iPads, people started giving them to kids. When every person has an AI in their pocket that can literally do anything they could ever imagine, what's going to be the use in children learning long division, or uh, even learning how to read? A computer can teach them how to read, you know? So that's, I think, where we're headed with that is whether or not you think that's a good thing is completely up to the person. I personally am not for it, but I think we are heading toward a more technology-based education system.
As a virtual and augmented realities become more immersive and, well, computationally powerful, do you foresee a future where we spend significant portion of our lives in simulated environments for work, socializing, and leisure?
Well, I see where virtual reality is heading is in the same ballpark as the way we see TV or reading or YouTube nowadays. It's something we don't have to do all the time. We don't necessarily have a compulsion to do it, but it's something we like to do if we have nothing else going on. And I think the immersion of virtual reality is actually somewhat healthy for humankind because I think we all have times in our lives where we want to escape and be someone else. And that way, even if just for a little bit, you can live someone else's life. And I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing.
Okay, Mr. Jack, to wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my Abstract Essay is already in fifth season. Abstract Poetry in second season. I'm a Book 101 Review fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season. I'm a Food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography, Love Letters, Movie 101 Review, Music 101 are in fourth season. I'm a Baby Podcast Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101 and Science 101 and Sex 101 in each second season. Please listen to them wherever you
It,
listen your podcast. In the
those all look
face,
very interesting. I'll give them a listen.
thank you. In the face of potential existential risk from AI, bioengineering, and other powerful technologies, when should we apply the precautionary principle and slow down and we change ahead?
All right. Um, could you say that one more time? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you earlier.
No worries. In the face of potential existential risk from AI, bioengineering, or the powerful technologies, when should we apply the precautionary principle and slow down?
Um, I personally don't think any AI should be made without a self-destruct button, so to speak. Not a literal self-destruct button, but an override system of some kind. Because if we put all of our cumulative knowledge into AI, it will destroy us and it won't have the human capacity to even feel guilt about that. It's just doing what it was programmed to do. And so I think that we absolutely need precautionary measures against this AI just so it doesn't get completely out of control.
Mr. Jack Ellis, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're
Y-
doing right now?
yes. Once we launch, you can visit our website at yourideashub.com. And uh, that is, post and share your ideas, and maybe someone important will see it and want to work with you.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Jack Ellis because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Mr. Jack, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.